Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Covens Dragons. I am your dungeon mistress, Colette. We are a group of crafters who found each other on the internet and decided we wanted to try playing a little bit of D&D together. This is an adult game, played by adults, so content warning for mature themes, sexual things, situations, drugs, alcohol, violence, question mark. If you are a child, this is probably not the place for you. We will start with character introductions. Let's go in alphabetical order today, starting with Aniira.
Hi, I'm Heather. I play Aniira Corvus, a Tiefling rogue assassin with lots of daddy issues.
Okie dokie. Atreya will not be joining us today. She's not feeling well. Börghildr.
Hi, I'm Christine. I play Börghildr Vancehammer, an Outlander dwarf barbarian who was raised by wolves and enjoys hitting things with her emotional support hammer.
Great. Jillie is also not with us tonight and won't be with us all this month. We'll talk about how we'll deal with that. Oh no, Atreya's gone too. Okay. Nano, you're up next.
I'm Katie. I play Nano, an abnormally short forest gnome ranger who lives with her companion Al Levy and likes to make friends and do arts and crafts with anything she can scavenge.
Beautiful. Thalia.
And Margaux, I play Thalia Silverthorn, a half-elf cleric who is pious to the point of being annoying.
And last but not least is Verna.
I'm Jessie, and I play Verna Cobblepot, a halfling bard who runs on short patience and baked goods and has a pink tabby cat named Hyacinth, who may or may not stay a cat.
May or may not. Margaux volunteered to do our recap, so let's hear a recap of the last session.
Okay, so last session we were trying to figure out what happened with Hyacinth. If we could uncover anything about how she got turned from her original form into a giant pink cat. And we asked around at the fermented starling where she was last seen when we recovered her backpack and some baskets, and I think that's it. But on the day that Hyacinth was there, a circus was in town, and a circus folk was turned into, or we found out later was turned into a bear, and we got to speak with the people who are now in charge of said bear, and speak with it and trying to figure out how to help the circus folk with their bear friend. Hyacinth said she might have heard a whisper while she was being transfigured into a cat. And there was a bracelet on the bear. It was an Elvish cuff with a it's like a very typical blessing. And then we looked at Hyacinth's necklace a little closer. It also has a blessing to Mieliki. And the bear, whose name is Boris, says he remembers someone saying something before he was changed into a bear. And there is my kind of disjointed recap.
And at the end of the session, you guys did finally find Pog. Just in time for Jillie to not be here. So, how we are going to address this situation, we are going to skip ahead. Not going to put a specific time frame on it. It's somewhere between 6 weeks to 3 months. Just because there is no logical reason that Pog or Jillie could just poof in front of you and you guys wouldn't spend all of your time looking for them. So we're just going to skip ahead. You have been back to Tillendale. You've spent at least a couple weeks there dealing with things. You were asked to join the convoy again to go back to Yaris, and you agreed. So you guys are back in Yaris. Jillie was unable to join you for a bit. She had some family things she needed to deal with, but she said she would catch up with you. And you guys would have had the ability to set up a place to leave notifications for her so that if you decided to leave Yaris, she would be able to follow you wherever you went. And I guess we'll just say that Atreya is not feeling well today. I will be fully honest and say that I had actually planned to run a short little Atreya bit for these couple of weeks. So, oops. I have a couple of other things.
Don't you love preparing stuff and being ready?
It was actually a really good little mini thing too. So
Next week.
you know, hopefully, well, not next week because we don't have a session next week. So I guess we're gonna kind of sandbox it a little bit. You guys have a couple of plot hooks that you could choose to follow in Yaris that aren't the one that I was going to throw at you to be kind of a one shot, and we can just kind of see what you guys discover in the city. Yeah. Anything you guys have questions about this setup before we get started? Just logistically speaking, when Coral comes back, if we're in the middle of an arc, we will finish it and then we'll time hop back. I'm not going to cut two stories in half and like go back and forth. We'll finish whatever we're on and then jump backwards to finish up the Pog arc. And then once we finish that up, we will jump even farther in the future and you'll be after whatever happens here. Does that make sense? I'm going to let you guys keep all items that you collect in the meantime, just because I think it's really obnoxious to have to remember what items you have versus don't have. So we're just going to kind of ignore time, if that makes sense. I think it's easier that way, as long as you don't think too hard about it. Okay, so you guys are back in Yaris. What would you like to explore?
Should we go take a look at the board at Quinley's bar and see if there's anything new adventures up there?
No, we're in Yaris. We're not in
You're right.
Tillendale. Yeah.
Well, since what I had planned was in Yaris, would you guys like to start in Tillendale instead and say that you haven't done the travel to Yaris? I'm open to that too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to start in Tillendale. So it's slightly less time has elapsed because you haven't traveled back to Yaris. I'm happy with that. And you guys can certainly look at Quinley's board at the Quinn Inn. It's been a while since we've seen this map. It's beautiful. Okay. So Quinley's board still has the notification up about the spiders being scared and Algernon's mom not being happy about it. The board also has another, what would appear to be a fetch quest from Auntie Isla. This time she's looking for some type of fish from down in the river. And that's it. Nothing too exciting.
Been thinking about those spiders in the caves. I sound sexy.
Nana's starting to wonder if those spiders could be friends, and I'm feeling a little bit like I feel bad that they're afraid, and I don't want them to be afraid anymore, even though I'm afraid of them. So Nana would be open to checking on some spiders.
I also would love to check out the caves and stuff where they are, because we could find some fun things to craft with and make jewelry with and smash with hammers.
Okay. So when you guys had asked about this quest before, you did talk to Algernon about it, and Algernon just said that he made the posting for his mother, and that if you wanted to learn more about it, you should go and talk to her.
Oh shit, Colette froze.
No, did I really?
Oh, she did.
Mistress, if you can hear us, you are frozen.
Yep, I can hear you. One sec, let me reset my internet. Am I back?
You're back.
Okay, I
Mhm.
never lost you guys, which was weird. Did you hear the end of what I was saying?
That we should go talk to Algie's mother, and that was the last I heard.
Yep, that's about it.
Have we met? I don't think we've met her before.
No, I don't think you ever went to seek that out, so you never met her.
Can we ask Uncle Algie where she lives so we can go talk to her?
So all of Algernon's family lives up by Clan 1 in the houses that are pretty close to the mine. Because the Spiderers are in the mine.
Okay.
So you guys can definitely head up there. And he would describe to you what his mom's house looked like and, you know, things like that.
All right, I'm game to head up there.
Can I grab some cinnamon rolls from the inn kitchen before we leave?
Sure. Jillie's back in the kitchen making them. She says she's too busy to come along with you guys today, but you can have fun.
I assume Atreya's got a body to bury, and she'll tell us about who she disposed of later.
Probably, yeah. So you can travel up there. You'll go past the church. Thalia, Bishop Maxwell waves at you as you pass.
Like waves over or just like, hello.
Just like a hello.
Okay. Hello back.
Hello back. He smiles.
I am just as awkward in game as I am in person.
Yay.
I'm doing the unicorn horn thing because I don't know any different. They're all the same to me.
Yep. So you guys can go up there. The Drow family is very easy to find. There's clearly looms set up. They've got one of the vertical looms over a tree in someone's front yard. They're all kind of sitting outside under the shade of the tree, talking and generally getting their work done. How would you like to approach them?
Well,
We
Nana's
sort of know.
Nana's barging in with a hello, friends.
Mhm.
And I assume I got a description of Algie's mom, right? So I'm gonna go to whoever looks like her to me.
Yep, there is only one older looking drow. The rest of them are Algernon's age or younger. Oh, there might be some middle-aged looking drow. But there's one that's clearly a grandmother.
Hi, Grandma Algie. We're here about the spiders.
What? You'll have to speak up, dearie.
Spiders!
Yes, we have spiders.
They're upset.
Algernon uncle, maybe, question mark, comes over and says, yes, the spiders have been very bothered recently. They aren't producing silk as fine as they usually do.
We want to help.
What qualifications do you have to help in this sensitive matter?
Oh, none.
Börghildr. Oh. Börghildr holds up her hammer.
The spiders are very sensitive to things that change in their environment. If you're too loud or brash, you'll only upset them even more.
She puts the big hammer away, pulls out the little hammer.
That might be all right. I guess the spiders aren't too bothered by the dwarves mining, and they use hammers about that size. How do you plan to investigate this matter?
Well, our friend here tends to be able to speak with all kinds of creatures, and we think that maybe she could hear them out, see what's going on.
You wish to speak to the spiders. An interesting
Wait.
idea.
Yeah, how else are you going to figure out why they're sad?
Have you guys asked?
We do not have that ability, unfortunately. The spiders trust us, and we're able to communicate their discomfort much the way a pet normally does. We can read them, we can read their silks, and we can tell when they aren't eating.
Are they not eating currently?
Their appetites have dwindled for sure, which usually means that they feel threatened.
So how big are these spiders and what do they normally eat?
Well, they're the size of a small dog, with some of the younglings being much smaller, the size of a hand or so. They eat what we provide for them, which is mostly just fruit and vegetable, actually. The silk spiders are more omnivorous than carnivorous, so we do give them meat occasionally, and they seem to like digesting bones and such, but for the most part, just whatever leftover vegetables we get from the inn from Algernon. They're good waste disposal.
Like pigs.
Similar, but more useful, maybe.
Well, you've clearly never had bacon.
He kind of shudders at the thought. Ugh, we don't consume flesh.
Yeah, then then that wouldn't be for you. How many spiders are there?
He pauses to think about this, and he says, well, we have 4 caves now that the dwarves have said that they are done with, and each cave houses about 30 to 40 spiders. It's hard to tell, though, because not all of the young ones will live to adulthood. At least 100 at this point.
That's a lot of friends. That's a lot of friends.
He kind of gestures to the piles of silk that they're currently spinning and weaving and says, well, they produce a lot of goods for us.
It's at least 800 legs of friendship. 800 paws to shake. Oh boy. It's a lot of friends.
Is there a specific cave where it seemed that the disturbance began, or was it just all at once?
It's the worst in the rearmost cave. Those spiders have almost stopped producing completely at this point. Whatever it is seems to be coming from the mines.
Are the spiders friendly? Like, will we be able to approach them, or are they skittish, like ponies, or should we bring an offering of any kind?
If you want to take on this task, I will go and help you with them. They're generally on the skittish side, but they will attack you if you go too close to their egg sacs.
What do the egg sacs look like?
He kind of like holds his arms out and says, like a ball of webbing this big, about the size of a basketball. Says, and there's always at least 3 female spiders very close by, if not on top of it. They take protecting them very seriously.
Any suggestions on how to get them to trust us while we're trying to figure this out?
I don't know that trust is something that you can build in so short a time. Like I said, I will go and try to reassure them with the new people. But I don't think that you'll find what you're looking for in the spider caves. We're in there all the time, harvesting and feeding and cleaning, and we haven't been able to find the source of the problem. I think it's probably deeper in the mines.
Do you have any equipment that we might need to go into those mines?
You could stop and ask Buxton. I'm sure they'll still have miners in the caves at this time of day. But most of the shafts are relatively well lit. I mean, the dwarves have made quite an enterprise of the area. There's ladders all over.
Do they have some kind of map system for the cave, or is it all just memory?
You would have to ask Buxton. I'm not aware of a map. I was under the impression that they only ever mined 1 or 2 veins at a time. They just go until they're done, till they've reached a dead end and keep digging. But Buxton probably has a good map of where they've been and what they found, since he's the one who plans out all their new routes.
What are they mining in the mines?
They find lots of metals that they take to be processed. They find lots of different gems. For whatever reason, there's just an abundance of a large different assortment of minerals in this area. Very unusual. It's why they
like the mines in Stardew Valley.
Sorry, what?
Like they sound like the mines in Stardew Valley.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And if we were to look for Buxton, where would we find him? Like in the mines, or is there some kind of camp or something?
Well, all of the miners live nearby, but at this time of day, you'd probably find them all in the mines. Buxton's usually towards the beginning of the mines, kind of preparing everyone as they go in and out. I'm sure we'll be able to find them if I go over with you to check on the spiders.
Sounds like we're going in the cave, y'all.
Yep. What do you think, team?
I'm ready.
Ready?
With my little hammers.
Is there anything else you wanted to do in the city? Anyone else you had been waiting to talk to? We've been in Yaris for a while now. We haven't been back to the city.
Did we just get back today or yesterday?
Sure. Let's say that. Yeah. It hasn't been that long.
What is it middle of the day, early in the morning?
It's probably in the 10 to 11 o'clock range right now.
Börghildr. Oh,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say Börghildr is an orphan, so she has no one to check in with.
I left Hyacinth at the inn with Jillie Because cats and spiders don't usually mix.
I should probably go in and check in with the bishop, but that can wait.
Did you have any question for the drow as a whole?
Hold up. The drow are here?
You've been talking
What am-
with drow.
Uncle Algy's whole family is drow.
All of Algernon's family is drow.
Don't we have some beef with the drow from...
Well, we
Cat?
suspect the drow turned Hyacinth into a cat, so...
Or someone that's trying to come across as drow.
Right. But maybe we chat this guy up on our walk to the mines and try to strike up friendly conversation. And ask him some questions.
Sure. I'll put his name. His name is Jevin. And that is Algernon's uncle.
Nano does not have the most tact with questioning, so.
So the drow family that you've been talking with, there's very clearly at least 4 generations, potentially 5. It's kind of hard to tell with how elves age. You've clearly got like grandmother who's the matriarch. You've got all of Algy's aunts and uncles, then his brothers and sisters, and then you're starting to see nieces and nephews and maybe great nieces and nephews. So there's a whole bunch of them all here together.
I mean, I feel like we should ask them if they know anybody in Yaris.
If any of them have been to Yaris lately.
Do we also want to ask them about fairies and what they know about fairies? Since we're still maybe thinking that drow could actually just be fairies and people are confused.
Yeah, I'm thinking we just, let this guy know. We're having a little sidebar, dad huddle. That we just kind of let Uncle here know that we just got back and that we stopped into town to take a rest from our travels to Yaris and then see if we can get any information on him. Just kind of tell him what we experienced while we were there and see if he piques interest to any of it and decide what we want to ask him.
Okay. He, like everyone else, seems very confused about why 2 drow would ever be on their own. Says 2 is not enough. You need a clan. You need the whole clan. 2 is not enough. That would be, he shudders. That would be alone and scary.
From what we understand, these particular ones were real confident and thought they were real funny. Is it possible that someone would be trying to impersonate drow? Or maybe they got...
Maybe they went rogue.
Yeah. Do you know anybody who's traveled to Yaris recently? Or who has left the clan on not so good terms, maybe?
No one has left our clan, and our sister clan up north, we have not heard anything from. It is possible that someone would pretend to be us, but that's not a very good impersonation if there are only 2. The only way drow makes sense is if there's all of us. Or maybe it makes sense if you're a half-breed like Algernon. He is more adventurous than us.
They were speaking in a a very old form of Sylvan. I couldn't quite understand it, but they said something about sassafras. Does that have any kind of meaning for you?
Sassafras? Isn't that a plant?
Yes.
That means nothing to Drow. We are not usually... Well, we do have some healers. Is that a healing plant?
I don't know, is it? This is not as Thalia. This is
I've been here to ask. Meow, meow, meow.
We left her at the inn, so she didn't eat the spiders.
Could the drow be half drow, half fairy?
Are you asking Jevin this?
I'm sidebarring.
No, I think we should ask Jevin this.
I mean, yeah, okay, then I'm asking. Could they, is that, like when a horse and a donkey,
Make a mule.
yeah, could they make half drow?
Can you explain to Nano how they do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, when a horse and a donkey really love each other,
Yeah. Jevin
Is
kind of...
that doggy
they do yoga together.
Do yoga together.
I love yoga.
Yeah. Jevin kind of pauses at he stops in his tracks and says, a drow and a fairy, an elf and a fey creature. I guess technically it could happen, but there aren't many fey here. And the drow would have to be very adventurous. I suppose it's possible. Unlikely, but possible.
So you've seen
I mean-
fairies?
So unlikely, but possible is not impossible.
I would say very improbable.
Okay.
But we could have a potential 2 half drow, half something else who are adventurous.
Are there any, like how sometimes people get crocodiles and alligators confused? Are there any other species that somebody would see and say that's a drow, but it's probably definitely something else? It just
Well,
looks the
With
same.
magic, anyone can look like anyone.
Oh, they're already doing transformation magic.
Yeah, so about that, what kind of magic could turn one creature into a different kind of creature, or a dwarf into an animal or whatever, and it lasts for more than a day? Any idea?
I would guess you'd be looking at some type of transformation magic. My own knowledge is somewhat lacking. I don't know if we have anyone who specializes in transformation magic here. But what you're describing sounds like either a very powerful spell or some kind of curse, or maybe a curse on a magical item.
Is there anyone in your village or in your clan that would know more about transformation magic?
Algernon is probably the most well-versed in magic of all of us. You might also go to Xavier. He's an enchanter and he's done some traveling himself. He might know.
Where is Algernon these days?
Probably at the Quinn Inn. Didn't he send you
We were
to us?
just talking to him.
I forgot.
You were busy getting the cinnamon rolls while we were talking
I was.
about how to get here.
And getting Hyacinth situated before we left.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Is
Hyacinth
Xavier
was happy
around
to
right
stay in the
now?
inn. She knows Algernon and Quinley from their travels to Yaris.
Is Xavier around right now?
He's probably in his home.
Before we take off to the mines, would you mind showing us where that is so we could just chat with him a bit?
His house is pretty much in the opposite direction. It's actually back towards Spildy's farm. You guys would know that, you've lived in here.
Yeah, we know these people. It's not like yours, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see Xavier's farm or house.
Yeah, let's go check on those spiders. I don't want to leave a friend in need.
Yeah, we can catch him on our way back now that we know we have a few more people that we can question.
One thing at a time, cats.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. So you guys can continue to ask him questions as you go towards the mine. He's happy to. He calls Algernon adventurous, but he's definitely chatty. Maybe he's well socialized, but not adventurous. And he kind of explains to you that they try to help keep the spider population under control because they only like having the spiders live in mines that Buxton is very sure that they are done using. And then what they do is they go in and they decide how big they want the area to be, and they kind of fill in. So if the mine continues for whatever, a mile in one direction, they'll cap it at like a quarter mile, just so it's not too big and unwieldy, because then the spiders get everywhere and you can't monitor them as much. Basically, like they build kind of chicken coops for them, and they put in nice little like shelves for them to perch on, and they keep them tidy, and then they come and collect the silk every couple of days.
And is the silk just there, like in bundles or something?
It's the webbing, but the way that they build their like shelving for the spiders, it encourages them to spin longer strands to kind of branch between the different posts that they put in place. So they go, and it's actually usually a kid's job to go and kind of untangle it, and they try to keep the strands as long as possible. That's why they have to go so often, though. Otherwise, the webs get too tangled and you can't get anything out of them.
Mistress, have you studied spider silking, or is this just
bullshitting right now? Because I'm impressed.
This is
I'm
just
really
how I
impressed.
decided that magical spiders would work. When
I'm really
played
impressed
this
with spider silking?
adventure. So, you guys make it to the mine, and Jevin kind of tells you to wait here, and he kind of points to the 4 caves that are where the spiders are and says, just wait here and be calm and quiet. I'm going to go check on them and make sure that they're not too agitated, and then I'll let you in. And he pops into the first cave, and he's not in there for very long, and he says, okay, just be calm. You can talk to them, and you can start in this cave, and I'll go work through the other caves and let you know when those are ready for you.
Nano, can you handle this? Do you need your leash?
We never send anyone alone, so someone's got to go with Nano, but I think all of us is a lot more disruptive than just 2 of us.
You do not have to worry about Nano trying to pet the spiders.
Okay.
Nano's gonna... So anyone that wants to come, I'm going to actively translate the whole time so you can ask stuff too and just assume I'm translating. So I'm casting my Speak with Animals, which gives us 10 minutes, I think, but I'm double checking.
Can you only cast that on yourself, or could you cast it on other people?
I'm not actually sure. It says you gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate for the duration.
It does say self, so you can't use it on anyone
yeah.
else.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yep. But I do have 3 spell slots, so we have up to 30 minutes of communication with the different spiders.
Börghildr is pretty comfy in the mines, so I'm okay. I'm cool going in.
All right. We ready to go?
Before you go, no smashing spiders with hammers.
Okay. That's fair. What if they bite?
One of us can heal you. Do not smash them. Just run until we talk to Jevin and know. I don't want to make our own town people mad. That's a little bit different than like a town that we're not from.
And
I guess we should ask how venomous these spiders are.
my God, we didn't ask about venom.
Oh, goodness. We've got healing spells. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
What if it's instant?
Well, then it'll be
Necrosis.
meeting.
I think they have to roll for that. So you'd still have hit points, I'd assume.
Okay.
All right.
Could be magical venom. It could make you into an elephant or something.
Nana,
Okay, what could go wrong?
Could go wrong.
So no smashing.
no smash.
Okay.
So Nano's gonna kind of creep in. I don't really know how to be non-threatening to a spider, but I'm just trying to like make myself even smaller than I already am, and just kind of like very gently walking in and kind of loud whispering, "Hello, friends. Can we come in and talk to you?"
Okay. So, Nano, these spiders are like the same size as you, if not bigger. And they're all kind of like there's a couple of them like dangling and like making webs like from the ceilings, but most of them are kind of like on the sides of the cave. You do see several of the large ball-like egg sacs that Jevin described to you, and make a perception check.
Mm. 8.
Okay. Yep, you see a bunch of the big egg-like sacs, and the spiders do seem to kind of cluster around them. But they seem to like have generally learned to keep the middle aisle clear. And as you walk in and say, "Hello, friends," there's kind of like a rustling noise, and a few of them like turn and look at you and say, "Friend?"
What do they look like?
Like, are they those cute jumping spiders, those little
Yeah,
bitty ones, but in our world big? Because I could be down to be friends with those.
Do they look like Lucas?
Who the fuck is
Sure,
Lucas?
we can make them friendly-looking spiders. That's fine. And they're definitely fluffy.
Yay! Shit, now I do want to pet them.
No.
We talked about this. Parental touch without consent. Okay, Nano can be strong. I can do this. I can.
No touching.
No touch. No touch.
Sidebar. I also now have a dice tower from Coral. I forgot that I had gotten it.
Yay.
Yay. Isn't it the best clicky clacky?
I love it. Okay. So I wanna. What do I want to tell the spiders? You're. I don't want to say masters. That sounds bad. Your caretakers said you've been sad. Are you sad?
We are not sad.
Are you angry?
We are not angry.
Are you scared?
We are not scared. Our families are scared.
Oh, which families in the other caves?
Yes.
Do you know what they're scared of?
We have not seen them, but they tell us there are threats. They see shadows. They see things moving at night to steal our eggs. And there's kind of a chorus of hissing and clacking as all the spiders get a little bit agitated by the thought of their eggs being stolen.
Not your eggs. I'm so sorry. We want to help protect your eggs.
They come from deep. We don't know why they're here. We haven't seen them yet, but eggs have gone missing.
So something is coming from deeper inside the caves.
Yep. At least that's what the spiders think.
Well, they would have seen it if it's coming from the outside. They would have.
Well, they're
I
friends
guess
in the other mine.
But didn't Jevon say that they like kind of closed off the back of the mine, so nothing should be coming in from that way either?
Did they trap something in?
Something's digging through?
Maybe we should go talk to the spiders in the very back cave.
I want to, I'm trying to think of a way to ask them if there's any, natural predators. Are there things that normally steal their spider eggs?
Who eats you?
Yeah. Who usually eats you?
We haven't been hunted in some time. Our caretakers keep us safe and protected, but we have heard stories from our egg mothers passed down of beasts in the sky hunting us. We have heard stories of slithering things eating eggs.
So birds and snakes. Or thereabouts.
Giant birds and giant snakes.
I don't think it was Owlie. She's not into eggs. She's into whole animals. Is it all, do you think your friends would talk to us? In the
They're
other
very
case?
scared, but they might have more information. Just be careful with them. They are very scared.
Is there any way we can make them feel better to be able to talk to us, that we can be less scary?
If you go with the caretaker, they might be more calm, or maybe and they kind of chitter amongst themselves, and you kind of hear the equivalent of you go, no you go, no you go. And then one of the spiders steps forward and says, I may be able to reassure them.
Oh, that would be so nice.
What's this spider's name?
Oh my god. Did I have a spider name prepared, you guys?
Lucas?
Is it Lucas?
Sure, it's Lucas.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know who Lucas is.
I put a video in the thingy.
Oh my goodness.
All I see is this really long.
Way too many blogs about what to name your pet spider. I am concerned. Why do so many people have pet spiders?
Christine, all I see in the chat is this really big long link that doesn't.
Yeah, sorry, the other chat.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
If you Google Lucas the spider, it'll come up. He's a YouTube sensation.
Is he real?
Yeah.
He looks like a cartoon.
He's really in our hearts.
Oh, I see. Okay. Because I keep seeing these TikToks of this lady who has a bunch of these, and they're like the size of her fingertip. And she creates these little like enclosures for them, very much like what Colette just described, but clear plastic. And she has them stacked like a little brick wall with little spiders in each of them. But they can get themselves out and escape, and they jump, but they're super friendly. But they're like the size of a thimble, smaller, flatter.
Dislike. No me gusta.
Agreed.
We
But they're cute.
we wouldn't take any of the jumping spiders out in the winery because we're like, they're gonna eat all the flies. They did do quite a good number. I'm like, thank you, little spiders.
Mm-hmm. They did their job.
All right. Nano's still really fighting the urge now that we have a named little spider friend. Really want a pet. Really want to do a pet. Really fighting the urge till maybe we're done.
Well, maybe you could ask.
Well, I want to make sure that we talk to the other spiders first, and we make sure everyone's. I don't want to upset him and make him uncomfortable when he's just offered to help us.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn.
That can be your reward for maintaining control. Where do we go to find the other spiders?
Can we follow Lucas?
Yeah, you can follow Lucas, or like Jevin is going and looking at all the caves. You can also just ask Jevin where to go.
Okay. Jevin, we're ready to go talk to the other spiders in the back cave, the ones that are really scared. Lucas is going to come with us.
He is very puzzled by you calling the spider Lucas, and he says, "You want to take a spider is coming with you? This is most unusual." And he pulls out a little notebook and starts writing notes about this. And he's very interested in this. He says, I would not recommend going in the back cave. They're very agitated, but if you must to get your answers, we can try. Just I'll come with you too to make sure nothing goes wrong.
Okay.
And you guys can go. So there is a bit of distance between all of the different spider caves, just because like the dwarves started tunneling down. So the first cave, you can like almost see the opening of the mines from, but as you go down, it gets darker. There are definitely lanterns on the walls, and there's some lighting systems set up. And the fourth cave is probably takes you 5 to 10 minutes to walk there.
Can we follow without disturbing spiders?
Yeah, the main tunnel is totally fine.
Okay. We're following close behind just in case something goes awry.
Yep. So
Jevin, do agitated spiders bite? And if so, how dangerous is their venom?
We have bred these to not have any venomous effects. If it's a sharp pinching, it's unpleasant, but nothing you can't recover from. I mean, we do send our children in these caves.
I mean, but I assume your children are a lot better behaved than we are.
This may
I've
be...
had some self-reflection, and I know that I have very good self-control.
This may be. And as he mentioned, like, as you were walking past, like, the second and third cave, you could see kids doing their collection duties, and there was, like, a little wheelbarrow that they were collecting their silk in. So you guys can make it to the fourth cave, no problem. Someone make a perception check. Well, Borgie doesn't notice
Lord.
anything. That's for sure.
Can I make a perception check?
Go for it.
Okay.
It is like this cave is a lot noisier than the others. You pretty much didn't hear anything from the other caves, but in this one, There's definitely more like rustling noises coming out of it, and you hear a lot more clicking. You heard a little bit of it when Nano went in, and the spiders got a little bit agitated. But these, like, you can tell even from outside the cave, these guys are not happy.
Hey guys, maybe we should let Jevin and Trevor, Lucas. Can all the spiders have shitty white boy names?
All right.
How about we let Jevin and Lucas go in first before you guys just go in and start making friends? It sounds to me like this one might be more agitated, like you said.
So what are you asking them to do? Because Jevin was already down here checking on them to make sure that they weren't going to, like, attack you.
Lucas, can you ask if we can come talk to these spiders and try and help them?
They are scared. I can try. I don't know that they'll listen to me. Listen to how scared they are. And Nano, with your speak with animals, you can hear that a lot of the, like, clacking and rustling is actually, like, crying and then panicking and looking for their eggs.
Tell them we want to help find their eggs and keep their other eggs safe. But we need to ask them questions first.
Okay. Lucas goes in, and you hear him kind of relaying this message that there are helpers from the caretakers who are going to destroy the shadows and find their eggs. But they need more information, and he kind of he is asking for someone to come and talk to you guys. And eventually a spider comes out of the cave with Lucas.
Hi, Trevor.
He kind of
Chad.
Yeah,
Logan.
Trevor nods and and kind of asks Lucas, "Are these the helpers?" And Lucas says, "Yes, yes, yes." Answer their questions, and they just kind of stand there looking at you.
Okay. We want to help. Can you tell us about the shadows? Where do the shadows come from?
Lucas kind of looks around and he says, "They come from there, and then also from the edge." And he points back into the cave.
What does it look like that he's pointing to?
You can't see. It's a little bit too dark. You'd have to go into the cave to see it.
Okay. I'm going to sidebar that because I'm going to ask at the end if we can go inside to look so that we can investigate the spot.
Doesn't somebody have a light spell that they like? Thalia, don't you have a light?
That might upset the spiders, though.
Yeah, we don't want to start. I got dancing lights and fairy fire, but
okay.
both, I was just probably.
Yeah, just checking because I thought I remembered that from the. Didn't we use it in that dark barn way at the beginning?
And we have I have dark vision. Don't most of us have dark?
Oh yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
And when do the shadows come?
At night, after the loud ones leave, is when they come. They are slippery.
The loud ones.
What loud ones?
The ones with the hammers?
What is hammer?
Borgie, show him your hammer.
Yes, yes. The ones who take chunks of earth with them. The ones who made our home.
So after the miners leave, the slippery thing comes out.
Do they what?
Do they come every night?
Not every night, only sometimes. Recently, less. Something must have happened. There are less of them now. But still the shadows come, and they bother us. Even when they don't take our eggs, they bother us.
Bother how?
They are loud, and they are digging too close to our homes.
They're digging too close to your holes?
Yes, and they are loud, and they are messy.
Sounds like squatters.
They can't see them. I want to know what they look like.
We don't have words for this. They are like, and they kind of point at Nano. They are like this one, but with swishy ends, and their covering is not soft, it is hard.
Some kind of reptile?
Snails.
Wait,
He did say slippery.
did he? I thought the ends were swishy.
Swishy.
Like
Swishy.
Swishy, not
Squishy.
squishy. So did I.
Oh, there's a swishy end and a hard.
something with a tail. Oh my god, like an armadillo.
Oh, an armadillo.
Do
Do they
those-
dig?
I don't know.
I was thinking a mole, but I think a mole is fuzzy, not hard.
It would be fluffy.
Yeah. I mean, we saw a talking cat, so
Oh my
as a
god.
bartender,
In D&D,
could be something we don't know.
in the 5th edition, there's a giant armadillo.
What are their tails?
And it burrows. The armadillo burrows. And
Is
it's
it
got
slippery?
a squishy tail. I mean, a swishy tail.
Is it slippery?
How many legs do they have?
Oh.
Not enough. They walk like you do,
On only 2?
unbalanced and ungraceful.
I'm very graceful. I have very high dexterity and acrobatics.
Trevor and Lucas very clearly look at each other and like
I
do
do a
the
yoga
spider
pose.
equivalent of laugh, which makes everyone's skin crawl.
I do a yoga pose to prove how graceful I am. I'm doing one of the raunchiest Kama Sutra poses that one can do by themselves.
Make an acrobatics check, please.
Fuck yeah, I will. 12. That is not very good.
It's not very graceful, and Trevor and Lucas both do this adorable little hoppy jump dance thing where they like go on 2 legs and then like switch which 2 legs they're on and kind of like splay their legs, and they are very much more graceful than you.
Nana's just like reaching and not petting, but just having some like little hand twitchies because I just really want to pet them because they're really cute now.
I've got a hold of the back of Nano's collar now. I'm not touching spiders.
So we're thinking
Consent.
like lizard,
Consent.
armadillo, turtle, scorpion.
Snail.
Oh, scorpion.
I really hope it's a snail. Shrew.
On 2
No,
legs.
my shrew's
Yes, a
hard.
snail
How
on
many
2
are
legs,
there?
guys?
How many have you seen at one time?
They always come as many. Always at least 4 or 5.
When's the last time they were here?
Last night.
Do they take any silk too?
Sometimes they take our webs. They are not as efficient as our caretakers, but they snatch and grab what they can.
And you said they're messy. What kind of mess do they leave?
When they dig, they leave their dirt. They leave things. They snatch our webs and break them. They don't gather them nicely. And they smell.
Ooh, what do they smell like?
Excrement and decay. They smell unwashed.
Anyone else have questions?
Do they leave anything behind, like besides a mess, like a residue or like toenails?
No, and we have not been able to capture one.
Has anything you tried worked to like shoo them away or hurt them?
They run when we begin to fight back, but sometimes we are not fast enough. When many of us surround them, they don't seem to be very brave.
Can you tell what color they are?
They come in many colors. We have seen red and green, brown and black.
This is like a game of 20 questions. I've never been good at that.
Besides making a mess and stealing things, have they ever hurt any of y'all?
Not yet, but we fear it is coming soon.
You said they leave some things behind. Is there anything that I can look at and see evidence of?
He chitters into the cave, and another spider brings out a couple of things. There are some rocks. There is a stick. And the most alarming thing is maybe a scrap of fabric.
Does any of this mean anything or trigger, ring any bells to us that we're seeing that we can identify easily as belonging to something or someone specific?
Make an investigation check.
Sounds like the makings of a nest, like a rat nest. And now I just keep thinking of Templeton from Charlotte's Web.
I got a 4. I'm rolling like shit.
It is what it looks like, I guess, but you're not sure why these things would be in the spider's cave. And Jevin is kind of like questioning what's going on, because these aren't things that should have been left in the cave. They should have been cleaned out.
Can I see if I can recognize the type of fabric?
Make an investigation check.
$13.
It appears to be a crudely constructed slingshot, which may be what the rocks are for. They appear to be about the right size.
Hey, Jevin, have any of the kids gone missing?
No, all of our children are here. We would be raising a much larger alarm if children were missing.
Do they make any sounds other than the digging sounds when they come in?
When they talk to each other, it's very noisy. It's a hissing sound.
Snakes with legs.
Is this a creature that we would recognize like in the real world, or is this like a D&D specific kind of creature?
This is a D&D creature.
I kind of think we got to go check out the hole or the edge that he was referring to, because my thought is if we're going to take these slippery fuckers out, that we need to find a way to protect the spiders. And we can't do that if they're coming in through a hole or something in their cave. If they're coming from two different directions. Like I'm thinking we get all the spiders into a cave or two and block those off so that they can't be harmed while we do this.
Are you telling Jevin this?
No, I'm telling my peeps.
There.
I mean, Jevin's there, so he's probably hearing this, but I wasn't speaking directly to him. How about?
Nano, are you relaying this to the spiders?
I kind of want to see what Jevin thinks first, if they could be housed together, if that's going to be a big problem for them. I want to get his opinion before I ask Lucas.
Not so much a problem
Chad.
of if the spiders would get along, if that's what you're thinking. They all are the same family, and we noticed them moving around between caves. The issue is that they won't leave their eggs, and there's no way to transport them until they are hatched.
Oh, no. Yeah, we can't ask them to do that. That would be even less safe for the eggs.
Well, did all of the eggs get stolen from this one last night?
All? No. And if you ask Trevor will explain that they never take all of them. They only, they yank and they grab, fistfuls from the egg sac.
So they have opposable thumbs?
I mean, they have hands that they can grasp with if they're using a slingshot.
Yeah.
Is there a way to keep the spiders from laying eggs until the next round is hatched?
Jevin says he has no idea. They've never communicated to the spiders in that detail. The spiders usually just lay eggs wherever they think is the safest, and it's not always evenly distributed across the caves. They've noticed sometimes in the winter they don't lay them in the forwardmost cave. If it's a little bit too cold. They're very temperamental, but they usually regulate themselves.
Can we? How often are they coming? Do the spiders have a sense of time that we can ask if it's every couple days, every week, every month?
They don't seem to have it narrowed down that far. They say it's not every night, but it's very irregular.
Can we just camp out in the cave with them and protect them? And try to catch whatever this is?
Are you going in this fourth cave?
We haven't yet, but we're gonna need to go check out the edge.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Lucas and Trevor and Chad. Tell them we really need to see inside this cave to be able to help them.
They say you will have to watch your step. You will have to watch your step. You will have to be careful. And then they kind of form a little point for you guys, and they start slowly walking their way into the cave. Telling other spiders to get out of their way. Nano, make a perception check.
I really hope this roll comes out better. Okay, 13.
There are twice as many spiders in this cave, at least.
I want to ask, well, Trevor's the one that's from this cave, so why there's so many more here? Is this cave different?
Protection. We called on the other caves for help.
Do we see anything weird about the spots? Can we see the spots now that they pointed to before for where they're coming in? Do we see anything weird about them?
They are all the way at the very back of the cave, and anyone who's going in the cave needs to make a dex check.
I really hope we're not stepping on any eggs. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. It's not a natural one. It is a...
Thalia will not be going in the cave.
It's a 7.
Yeah, we all fucked up.
Yeah, y'all are stomping, and someone steps on one of Trevor's legs, and he hisses and very noticeably continues on with this light limp. One of you like fully steps on one of the spiders that's kind of like not fast enough to get out of your way. They're just getting more and more and more worked up as you get to the back of this cave, and once you get there, it's dim, but there is some lighting. Like clearly, the drow have set up little orbs of light so that they can see when they're in here. Because even with dark vision, you wouldn't be able to see very well in a cave if it was unlit. And you can see some like mounds of dirt towards the back of the cave. So the like spider housing ends, and then there's maybe 5-10 feet between that and the back wall. They just didn't build it out all the way, and like there's multiple mounds of dirt.
How big is the cave? Like how far, like deep is it?
This is the smallest one. It's the newest one they added on. So it's probably only about 50 yards total. Half a football field.
I'm going to nudge some of these dirt piles with my foot just to see if anything is in them or they topple pretty easily.
Nano, can you hear?
But they do, like, I mean, you can move them. They're not super big piles of dirt.
Just piles of dirt.
Can I ask Nano to ask the spiders if, like, the hard outer part is like a shell or if it's metal?
They don't really have words for either of those things.
Never mind then.
I'm going to pull out my squirrel tail medallion and ask if the swishy tail is like this.
They say maybe, but not fluffy and bigger.
And the hard part, I'm gonna point to my leather armor. Is it like this to where it can be taken off, or is it something that's attached to them, like I flop my ear or something to show them like something that's attached to me?
It's their outsides, not a fake shell. It's their outsides.
Okay.
So that means they're not wearing clothes. They're not wearing armor. Yes?
At least as far as the
Bless
spiders
you.
can tell you.
So are all of the eggs kind of in a central location, or are they scattered throughout this cave?
They're scattered throughout the cave.
And they can't be moved until they hatch, right?
Nope, the spiders don't want to move them because that's not good for their young. Technically,
Gotta
they
find a way.
probably could, but the spiders would probably fight you on that.
Well, we want to protect the eggs, and like, if we're going to camp out in this cave, right, and wait for these fuckers to show up, when they do, having a plan on having some of the spiders protect the eggs and maybe some of the other spiders help us.
Are their webs sticky at all? Or is it just like silk smooth? Can they make a sticky web?
Can they make a sticky web? No. There's a little bit of residue on the web when they first spin it that makes it a little bit sticky, so it'll like stick to itself, but it doesn't stay sticky for very long.
What if we were to put some of the silk into my bucket of goo? Would that make it sticky?
What if we-
sticky? I don't remember it being sticky. I thought it was
I thought
more
it
acidic.
dissolved stuff. Yeah.
If I could get like some tree resin, could we use that?
To make a sticky web? Probably.
Or just like a giant glue trap?
Yeah, like thinking of a trap that we can put over wherever these like opening entrances are so that we can kind of impede them as they come in, but also like trap them in some way.
What about those frosting on my cinnamon rolls that are in my
What about
bag
the
here?
rusty bear trap?
Who's got the rusty bear trap?
Borgie?
Oh man, Atreya probably has all of your good area effect spells for that.
I think
Yeah.
I sold my rusty trap.
Damn it.
I think you're right.
Good one too, though. Didn't you have 2 traps?
Wait, I have a not rusty one.
Yeah.
Okay, we can use the not rusty one.
And you could go to the town and try to get stuff if you wanted, or ask Jevin and his family if they had traps or whatnot. There's enough hunters.
I kind of like the idea of using webs just because we could kind of be hidden and take them by surprise. But if they see a bear trap, I mean, the bear trap could be hidden under a mound of dirt, but that captures one maybe.
Well, we only need one to question it.
And to make them afraid. They said they're not very brave, so if we really
We could like rough it up a
send
little.
a message.
Y'all know as soon as they show up, we're rolling initiative, right?
Yep.
It's not going to be just questioning. There's going to be...
Could the spiders make like a fake egg sack, like to use as bait?
Ooh, a decoy web sack with a bear
Mhm.
trap in it.
They
Or
would
with
be
a bucket
willing
of
to
goo.
do that, yeah. They don't know why you would want fake eggs, but they seem able to do that. And if you say you're helping, they would try to help you.
Did we ask them how many of the shadow swishy tail guys there are?
4 to
They
5.
said many, 4 to 5 at times, sometimes more.
But it's not like 200.
Well,
Yeah.
that we know of. Yeah. What if we capture one and then their brethren show up and their homies come and try to...
It's fucking homies.
I know. It's always the homies.
Do they always come out of the same holes, or do they switch it up and like make new holes every time they come?
There's multiple mounds of dirt.
So having a decoy would probably be good, seeing as we can't really predict which hole to put our trap by.
Well, but the decoy is going to look like all the others, and who says they're going to grab the decoy?
Everything you've heard from the spiders suggests that they aren't really the most rational of thieves.
Could we just dig down and go find them? Like, why do we have to wait for them to come to us? We could go to them.
We need to try a shovel.
Well, we've got a hammer, and we could bust through. That's a really long banana.
That's what she said.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
So they're coming through these holes, but he said they also come in through the entrance, right? So we maybe don't have to dig for them. We could probably go explore the mines a little bit to see if we can find evidence of them elsewhere and ask some of the miners.
We
If
do
they know
want
what
to
these
talk
things
to
are.
Buxton, right?
I forget who that is already.
The dwarf.
Minor guy.
He's like the shift leader.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe they've run into them too, or at least the mounts or something.
Or if we want to go hunt them down, they may know which direction to go to look for them. I kind of like the idea of hunting them down versus fighting them in the cave with the spider eggs.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're not usually the cleanest at battles.
Nope, but we like to leave a mess.
And I don't want to leave blood on the egg sacks because that just seems in poor form.
Right.
And these guys
So
are runners. So if you tried to just attack them when they came here, they would probably just run away. And you'd end up going to hunt them down anyway.
Oh, good point. So let's reassure the spiders that we're going to help them. We're going to get to the bottom of this and that we're going to get some more information and try to stop them before their next attack.
Yeah.
The spiders are clearly still very agitated, and they're not exactly sure what to make of you, especially after you stomped on a bunch of them on your way in. But
oh my God, can I cast Cure Wounds on anybody that needs, do they need it?
You offer to make the spiders feel better. The ones that you stepped on would go and let you heal them if you say that. And that would earn you a little bit more goodwill, for sure.
Didn't Jevin also say that they like bones to eat?
Yes, Jevin said that they seem to really like bones for some reason.
Okay. I have a bunch of squirrel bones from Alley hunting. Fuck. My computer just spit out. Okay. Am I still here?
Yep.
Okay. I have a bunch of bones from Alley. I have 4 sets of squirrel bones, so I want to use 2 sets of it and just kind of distribute out some squirrel bones all over to all the spiders in this cave to help make them feel better, like little brown circles.
Okay. Yeah, they seem to accept this pretty happily. Well, not happily. They're still really upset, but, they take them from you at least.
Would I be able to use mending to close up the holes?
That is an interesting question. Do you have the spell open?
Yeah.
What area does it allow you to mend?
1 foot in any dimension, you mend it, leaving no trace of the former damage.
Okay, so you would be able to do the equivalent of putting a stopper on a drain pipe, so you will be able to mend the earth for a foot's depth, but you guys don't know how deep these holes go, so
Would that make the spiders feel better?
it might.
Or
can't
they
really
could just
tell.
dig through it again. Yeah.
Yeah, they seem very agitated, and unless you say that the holes are totally filled in, they're not really gonna they'll just be able to dig through again.
Fair.
So we've scattered bones and I've cured some wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Jevin, can you take us to Bartholomew? Is not his name, but that's one. I'm on a roll with names. Buxton.
Oh, is it Chad?
Chad is another spider.
Chad is another spider.
And his friend Logan. Used to be a Logan.
Luke
Gotta be a Josh in there somewhere.
Logan.
And a Brad too, don't worry.
Yeah.
Enough spiders. So Jevin kind of looks around, and you can see him like pause and kind of listen for a moment. He says, "Oh yeah, they're just ahead," and he takes you down the main tunnel, and it really doesn't take you that long before you see kind of the main ship headquarters. Um, it's pretty clear. I mean, it's more well lit. There's a table there with a bunch of papers on it, and you guys know Buxton. Buxton's standing there talking to people.
So we do know him because he comes to town and stuff, right?
Yeah, and he's Tornak's brother, and you've traveled pretty extensively with Tornak at this point.
Got it. Okay. Hey, Buxton. Is he a good-looking guy? What's Buxton look like? Am I going to turn on the charm with Buxton?
Buxton is a dwarf. He is the oldest of the Cleric brothers, so he's got about 3 years on Tornak. He has long, we'll say Buxton is basically Thorin, the way they did him in the Hobbit movies.
Which one?
The main dwarf from the Hobbit movies.
Okay, so the hot one with the beard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to stumble over my words, and one of y'all is going to have to come in to finish asking questions because I'm just, hey, how are you? How have you been? Haven't seen you at the inn lately. What's been going on?
Yeah, he's happy to engage in small talk, and then he kind of catches himself, and he's like, wait, why are you here in the middle of our shifts? If you want to socialize, you should come back when I'm done working for the day.
Well, we're working too. Not our typical jobs, though. We are here to figure out what's been tormenting our spider friends over here in the silk caves. And we were hoping maybe you could help us with a few things.
He kind of looks at Jevin and he says, you haven't figured that one out yet, Jevin? What's been keeping you? Why haven't you solved your spidery issue yet? And Jevin, shrugs
many
and looks
looms to be
apologetic and
tended.
is like, we haven't figured it out yet, man. I don't know what you want me to say.
So we've heard from the spiders. We chatted with them a little bit, made some friends, and they mentioned some creatures that come to take their eggs at night. They come in red and green and brown and gray, and they have what we think might be swishy tails, but hands, and they walk on 2 legs, and a hard exterior shell type thing. Any idea what they would be? Did I forget any descriptors?
They're messy and smell bad.
Yeah, they smell like death. And they leave a mess behind. And it sounds like they're digging into the spider's caves. Through tunnels, perhaps.
New slingshots.
Well,
Oh, yeah. And we think they may be either have built a slingshot or have stolen a slingshot.
Messy diggers with tails. So at least you're not talking about dwarves. And he kind of thinks, he says, well, I've heard of a kobold infestation recently. Don't know that we've seen any, but, now that you mention it, some rope has gone missing, and some of my fellas have lost their tools.
Cobalt is in the color?
No kobolds, the little dragony things. And they don't have shells, though, but they definitely have hands. They're thieving bastards. And they have tails. kobold.
Oh. Are they slippery?
Swishy.
They're cowardly as all hell. All it takes is a good brandishing of a knife and they go scurrying back from where they came. They're annoying though. If you get an infestation, it's hard to ferret them all out.
Since when did Buxton become Scottish?
Since I decided to try accents, guys.
I love it. I love it.
I'm here for it.
I'm trying. It's hard. I don't usually do accents.
Love it. It's great.
Oh, they're ugly fuckers.
Yeah. And you
Hobgoblin.
said they smell like death, but they smell like death and poo-poo.
Yeah.
I don't think. Are they very good at being friends?
A friendly kobold. Not normally. Normally they just want to steal your things and then leave ya. Sometimes they'll stab you for good measure too if you're not paying attention.
What do they do with the stolen goods?
Hoard them like dragons. They're basically mini dragons, honestly.
So, any tips on getting rid of them if we decide that's what we want to do?
Well, they're not very hard to kill. The hardest thing is finding them.
Well, that's our next step. That's why we're here, is to see if we can stop them before they terrorize the spiders again.
D5.
Any ideas where they could be hiding?
Well,
D5 says, oh,
yeah. What do you think?
I was just going to say the handbook says that they have a cleverness for trap making, which,
Yeah, you have to fight traps with traps.
It's a trap.
okay.
I mean, we're only currently working in 2 veins, so they could, I guess, be in any of our old shafts. We don't usually go down those too often, so we wouldn't really notice if anything had gotten holed up in there.
How many of those are there?
Do you have a map?
Oh, sure. I've got a map. And he kind of walks over to the table and, like, spreads out a map. And you can see he clearly has the spider caves marked out with very intricate little drawings of spiders. And there's quite a few offshoots that have been marked, like, unused or something. And then he's got staffing names written around the couple that they're currently in. So of the like areas that you can see on this map, there's we'll call it 20 unused shafts. Some of them bigger than others. Some of them are unused because they weren't very fruitful, and some of them were good for a while. So varying lengths.
Are we free to just wander through these unused former shafts?
I suppose the rope should still be there if they haven't been taken, I suppose. Just be a little careful. Things tend to rot in caves, especially in these moist ones. And he points to 2 or 3 on the map specifically.
Moist caves.
That with rotting something or another and shafts. There's a lot of happening here.
A lot going on here to process.
Buxton, are we free to take whatever we find in these caves that we might fancy? These shafts? I'm going to say shafts as many times as I can.
I suppose, as long as you're staying in the ones that we aren't using. If you find some tools, I'd appreciate you bringing them back. They were probably just left by some careless folk.
And you haven't heard anything from your mining teams about, other than some missing tools, but no one's like heard anything or.
No, we're not here at night ever, and that's when the kobolds would usually come out.
Do you have any of your team who would like to accompany us that would know these shafts?
You'd have to wait until tomorrow. Everyone's currently on assignment, and they aren't likely to want to leave after a half day of work, but someone might be interested in going. I'd kind of doubt it, though.
I mean, I feel like Feely and Keely wouldn't mind taking a half day of work. They're not super motivated.
They're just legends. Don't worry about them. All my workers are good. They're made of sterner stuff than that.
I forget what I was going to ask. Oh, like on the map, are there any good, like, is it all very spread out, or are there any good choke points where we could, like, kind of explore a certain range and, like, multiple shafts come off of that spot, like a branch?
Yeah, there are plenty of good choke points. Off of
Okay.
the main tunnel, there are probably only 5 areas, and then they branch out from there.
Okay.
Could I make a copy of the map just so we can kind of figure out where we're going?
Yeah, if you wanted to. Buxton would offer to let you come back to his house at the end of the shift, and you could take all night with it if you needed.
Verna, you could take all night with his shafts if you need to.
I'm in.
You don't have any copies, though. That would just be very convenient.
I mean, we need to take a long rest to recover Nano's spell slots so we can talk to more spiders or kobolds or whatever we find. And Verna might not need to rest. She might want to do yoga.
I feel like what if we go for the night and they come back while we're gone?
Could
We
we
leave.
station 2 people here?
Leave a guard. I would stay.
So that would require sleeping with spiders.
How long have we been down here?
It's probably been a couple of hours, so it's a little after lunchtime now.
Do they
So
this do the kobolds only come at night?
That's what you've heard so far. No one's seen them during the day, at least.
Nano is on board. Yeah, that's the problem. Nano's on board sleeping in the cave. But if we're interrupted and Nano doesn't get a long rest, I can't communicate with the spiders very well.
Well, if since it's midday, could go and rest some. Maybe take a long rest in our homes or whatever, and then can come back at like either when the shift ends or at night, which is the same thing. Just kidding. Nah.
You'd only have time for a short rest between now and when the shift ends.
I forget how much a short rest recovers for like spells and stuff.
It depends on your class. I don't think it would give you anything as a ranger.
Well,
yeah, it does not look like it does. I still do have my cantrip though of just communicating with animals, very like not full speak with animals, but simple concepts. So I could still get some base communications across to them if we needed to, since I've already talked to them, I think.
I would agree with that, especially since they're expecting you to be helping now.
Mm-hmm.
And they've kind of heard you start to make plans, yeah.
So are we gonna grab some supplies and go sleep in the cave to make sure they're safe? Or are we gonna start exploring the caves tonight?
Say that again.
I thought we were gonna. There was gonna be a couple of people camping out, and then I guess Thalia or someone else could copy the map, so we have ways to be able to figure out.
Yes.
You also are in your hometown, so there are other people that you might be able to ask for help.
Oh, we could tell just the drow. They all have dark vision and care about the spiders. They could camp out with the spiders tonight, right?
Oh, that's a good point.
Not that you have to, but you do know these people. They know you.
That is very good point.
Yeah, let's
we
tell
don't risk
Jevin that.
squishing the spiders.
And we know the kobolds are cowards. So if they're there, they should be safe and they should be able to chase them off pretty quickly.
So Jevin is very willing to volunteer himself and some of his brothers for this duty. They think they can handle kobolds. They've handled worse, so they don't seem to be too bothered at this thought. Honestly, they seem most worried about how to get through the cave, because they really haven't been going in this cave recently just because of how many spiders there are and how hard it is to navigate.
How long can I make a quick trip into the cave again and just simply communicate to the spiders that they need to clear a path to have helpers come for safety?
Yeah, that's fine. And they seem to understand what you're saying, and hopefully it won't cause too much trouble. Okay, so your plan is to go back into town, have a rest, and are you trying to gather any supplies?
Yes. I'm trying to think what's useful in a cave. I know I have, I think, 50 feet of rope as part of my inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some lanterns or some torches or something in case the lighting isn't good.
And I mean, I need paper and ink and stuff to make the copy of the map.
Yeah. So you guys can totally do that. You can go to Buxton's house and make your copy. You guys wouldn't have a problem finding any of those things. And this is where we will leave it for this session. And unless there's anything really specific that you guys wanted to do overnight, we will start next session after your long rest, so the next morning, entering the caves.
I would just like to tell Owlie V to go out hunting for the night because Owlie's probably hungry anyway, and I want to gather some more bones to give spider snacks tomorrow.
And then just a reminder, there is no session next week, March 15th, because when we did the schedule poll, there was only 2 people who were available anyway. But next week I will be posting a schedule poll for at least April, and probably the first. I don't want to go too far out, but all of April and maybe the first 2 weeks of May, just so we can see what the schedule looks like coming up. Okay.
Yay.
Yay!